We topped out as far as 221. In the morning dropout on the spies, we did bounce off of this prior resistance area at 220.70, and then end of the day came off into the low. So looking at it for today, so yesterday I was more focused on IWM because it was a cleaner setup. I did short this little spike up here into 221.5 in the spies. That had been prior day's afternoon resistance. That worked, came off quickly 70 cents. When I was off the desk, did retrace back up, so people had a chance to re-short if they wanted to, about 221.30. End of the day came down to 2 days prior afternoon support. So now when this happens, we're looking to see for topping action. One of the things we can do is see if we get a lower high. So we put in the high, the next day we gap down, we put in a lower high. Today we're gapping up, but we still can look for another lower high. See if sellers can maintain control.
Down about 3.6%.
Eventually, when we do get a sell-off in the spies, 4 to 6 points is kind of standard fare these days. So if the top is 222, we would look for the sell-off to come somewhere down into this area down here. Again, not saying at all that this was the actual top of where we'll get our usual pullback, but we're starting to get the first signs of some evidence. On IWM, this one was in an incredibly clean 30-minute uptrend. 4 or 5 days it tried to break this uptrend. You can see each time it would go down in the morning, it would fail, get back above, go down, get back above, go down, essentially stay above, and then finally went through the down uptrend cleanly and made a lower high, and this was the break of that uptrend. So. If I look at this from the last few days perspective, there's been resistance around this 132.30 area, became support this afternoon here. When it sold right on the open, the following day, it held, and that's where we came down to yesterday. And again, closed above that. So we'll watch that to see if we start to consolidate below this area down here. And then let's use 134 as the top. Where was I short from? I was short from here, right here. And it came down to 132.70. We pop back up. Go over here. So I would say anywhere in this area here would be a lower high that I'd be looking for. If we try to push it a little bit more, but basically 132.75 to 133 in this area right here. If we get above there, then we have to watch to see if it comes right back up to yesterday afternoon's failure. 133.30. USO. Remember we flipped that from long to short the other day. Covered most of it now. The announcement's going to come out after the close tomorrow for the meeting. And I think so. I'll check the time on that, but I think it's after the close tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. And I'm going to expect a big move either way. If there actually is a real deal with real cuts from Saudi Arabia, we could be looking at USO up in the up here really. Above 1175. The announcement is pretty bad. The scenario where we bought it at the 965. That's probably what we're looking at. Maybe lower. Maybe all the way down around 930, 940, something like that. So there'll be an opportunity once the announcement comes out, a good trading opportunity. Let's go from there. Tiffany's has made a really nice comeback. They're in a conference call right now. They beat on revenues and earnings per share. Their flagship store, Fifth Avenue, right next to Trump Tower. So I'm pretty confident the business there has been harmed already. We'll see how much in the next earnings call. But as that enters my mind as it runs to higher prices here. Now, the all-time high was up at 110. They cut it in half almost. If you go back over the last few years, it had topped out. Once it got over the prior high from 2011, it started to show some support in the 85, 84 area. And we're almost there now, almost back to that. And to me, in summer of, this is actually the day of the crash in 2015 right here, it broke through there, came back up and never recovered, never got a close above 84. So that's going to be a tough nut to crack, I think. Right now it's gapping to 82.40. It's gapping right inside of this range. So it normally trades 1.7 million shares. It's already done 10% of its average daily volume. It's going to be very in play. It's going to be a very whippy stock right on the open, but based on pre-market trading, it should do 5 million plus shares. I'm just looking back, looking at some of its heavier volume days, it's done 70 million. So it's going to be pretty liquid. Appears to be a seller here around the 82.60 area. I guess right on the open, what I'll look for is if they try to buy it, I want to see if it fails here, but somewhere between 82.65 and 83, comes back down, gets below 82.5, I'll look for it to come in a couple of dollars. After 10:30, if it's still above $82, then I would look for it to test that longer-term resistance in the 84 area. And remember, in the first 15-20 minutes, that's price discovery. There's no, sometimes you get a strong indication of a possible trend for the day, but usually you get some whippiness. You'll get moves in both directions. You want to be prepared to trade both directions. And after 10, 10:15, 10:30, usually we'll be consolidating above or below a key level, and we'll be able to potentially capture a trend for the day. But most stocks that are in play usually just trade off of key levels and don't have good all-day intraday trends. But spotting that potential early and getting in at good levels is a way to kind of boost your numbers for the month. And the ones that have the strongest indication that they're going to trend for the day, when that catalyst is really strong either to the upside or the downside, we'll highlight that in the morning meeting. We'll make a point of making that point when we see that. The next stock is FOLD, which no new drug application. They're going to have to do more data. That was the gist of it. That's why it's gapping down. So it's obviously struggled over the last year in terms of gapping down $6 area a few times. First time, second time, third time. Now this is the fourth time. But it's gapping, if we look at this in the last year, it's gapping down to above the most recent pivot where it ran up to $9. So far, it's acting as if this is a setback, but not monumental in terms of the delay needing to collect more data. So just relative to the prior gaps. So you can see initially in the after hours, it came down into our, what do we have, 580. Didn't go below that 580 this morning. Again, didn't go below 580. now is well above $6. So it does look like it's trying to bounce from this area. We zoom in a little bit. You can see from the after hours, it was bought here at 587 this morning, 590. They were waiting to buy it there. So this does seem like the spot where you want to buy it against 580. Now that it's moved off of their place, I don't know if they're going to get that again, but let's see if it comes in a little bit closer to 6, makes a higher low right here. But so far, our indication is that longer term support area is trying to bounce off there. People are interested in it. If we don't get the pull in right on the open to $6, then we'll want to play it with momentum to the upside. We'll be watching to see if it's holding above $6.30. And then obviously, if it takes out that 650, you play for the move back up to here. It's already traded 600,000 shares in the pre-market. VBLT, they had good phase 2 data on their thyroid cancer drug. Here's the daily on this one.
Comment on the fact that the oil ministers are still optimistic about OPEC reaching a deal.
So it's gapping to here. So whatever this good news was, it took it to above $7. It came right back down, filled the gap. It was accumulated for a few months between $3.85 and $4. They ran it up here again. Then was accumulated at higher levels, and the 480 is about $1 above this accumulation. So now that a bunch of people are in, the question becomes, can it hold above this prior pivot high, which is 570, and make a run up to this, kind of where it topped out the first time, which is around 7.5. I have 680 to 7 as first potential resistance, right here. And if it takes that out, the high from this gap day. Here's what we got in the pre-market. It hasn't been able to get above 640. A few times they've sold it back and down into the 6 here. Actually, it looks like the sellers are a little bit more in control now.
Investors are still working hard to make the meeting successful.
What you want to see if you're buying it down in this area or down around the 6 area is it start to hold above 6.25. So this normally only trades 100,000 shares, so we go back on the daily. So this day that it gapped up here, it traded, what is that? Is it 2 million or 20 million? It's 28 million, so. So there's going to be some good volume there, even though normally it doesn't trade. There'll be a game of hot potato, kind of like what we saw in dry chips last week, potentially. But we'll know more by 9:40, 9:45 at a level of volume. It's already done more than its normal daily, average daily volume. Pandora, we heard yesterday they were buying calls. Some guy on Fast Money mentioned it on the show last night, so it was gapping up to 12 this morning. I would say it's almost definitely a short in this area up here. You can get it. Just because one person is making a bet for January on a lot of calls doesn't mean you don't want to sell it up here. So it did get above $12 in the after hours yesterday when I mentioned it on CNBC. So I'm going to short it in a spike into this right on the open. And see where it started from was $10.80, $11. CTSH was very whippy on the open yesterday. Eventually, it calmed down and the sellers took control the rest of the day. Once it came down to 57.5, had one spike, take consolidation trend down the rest of the day. Looking at it this morning, I would be shorted against 57.5. And any spike above 57 here, shorted. Come all the way back down to 50, 55, 54. And then SFUN, it was up in the 330 area on the open yesterday and tried to break to the upside, and they just crushed it right back down in this area where they've been buying it. Prior week, overshot. It's 290, 287, but then right at the end of the day got back above it. So that's 290, 285. I think we talked about that yesterday as support there.
10 minutes down, 10 minutes US cash.
Gets back above 310. We can look for it to go back up to 330 or 350.
The euro
So,
bouncing off a 120, 105, 60
that's it.
low of about 30 pips.
USO is hanging out. $45 a barrel seems to be the number. Right now, oil's down $1.80, 45 and a quarter.
112.93 and dollar yen
I'm
off
still long some gold. GLD. GLD had its largest outflows of ETF ever in its history. Not a retail. Finally, 8 years after the financial crisis, seems to be piling back into stocks, getting out of bonds and GLD. So we'll see how that plays out over the next couple of weeks. As always, be patient and good luck.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.